The story begins with Zhou Xi, one of the best swimmers at his school, who often gets into fights. One day, while being chased by a group of boys, he catches sight of a girl who leaves him so stunned that he barely feels the punches he's taking. This girl is Yongci, who has just transferred and, coincidentally, has been placed in the same classroom as Zhou Xi. All the boys at school are captivated by her beauty, including Sha Yu, the captain of the swim team. However, when Sha Yu approaches her, Yongci coldly rejects him. Yongci suggests that Zhou Xi join her at the Grove, which excites him as he imagines they might do something more intimate. However, it turns out to be just a restaurant called the Grove. Yongci notices that Zhou Xi often gets into fights and makes it clear that she doesn't like it. Zhou Xi promises to stop fighting if she agrees to pretend to be his girlfriend so that Sha Yu will stop pursuing her. At that moment, Sha Yu shows up, wanting to fight Zhou Xi, as the two don't get along, especially since they both like the same girl. Yongci steps in, telling Sha Yu that she's dating Zhou Xi, which prompts Sha Yu to leave. Zhou Xi decides to keep his promise and stops fighting with Sha Yu, but instead proposes a swimming competition. If Sha Yu loses, he must stay away from Yongci, but if he wins, Yongci will have to wear a sign on her back that says she loves Sha Yu. Yongci herself agrees to the competition, which motivates Zhou Xi to begin intense training. As time passes, the two grow closer, and when she visits Zhou Xi's house, she finds a box full of special movies, leaving Zhou Xi extremely embarrassed. The day of the competition arrives, and Zhou Xi loses. Even so, Yongci congratulates him, and they leave together to avoid him seeing that she actually put the sign on her back. Suddenly, Yongci stops attending school, which worries Zhou Xi. When he searches for her, he discovers that she is going through family problems. Yongci reveals that she and her mother were running away from her father, but now that he has found them, they need to leave. She says her goodbye. Zhou Xi rushes to find her, but it's already too late, she's gone. Sometime later, he learns that Yongci is studying design at the same university his friend plans to attend. This motivates him to resume his studies, as he was never really interested in going to college. But now, upon finding Yongci again, he's willing to do anything. After much effort and many sleepless nights of studying, he finally gets accepted along with his friend. However, when they finally reunite, Yongci reveals that she has a boyfriend. Even so, Zhou Xi doesn't lose heart and joins the cheerleading squad to be closer to her. There, he meets Chen, the captain of the soccer team and Yongci's boyfriend. Chen is the most popular guy around, making the competition for Yongci even tougher. His friends try to cheer him up by showing him a special movie they bought and manage to get autographed by Yongci herself. However, the police interrupt their fun and take Zhou Xi and Yongci to jail. They believed they had been arrested because of the films, so Zhou Xi tried to defend himself. In truth, they were detained because, a few days earlier, they had unwittingly helped a con artist escape, thinking they were rescuing a victim of abuse. While in custody, Yongci shared with Zhou Xi how she met Chen and how safe she felt by his side. She expressed her hope that Zhou Xi would always remain her best friend. When Yongci's birthday arrived, she fell ill and couldn't go see the fireworks. So, Zhou Xi brought the fireworks to her, understanding that making her happy meant being by her side. One day, Zhou Xi discovered that Chen was deceiving Yongci. Chen had planned to lose the upcoming game so he could go on a trip with another girl. Zhou Xi told Yongci, but she didn't believe him. Determined to protect her, he decided to enter the game himself, winning it to prevent Chen from leaving with someone else. After winning, Zhou Xi confronted Chen and physically attacked him, breaking the promise he had made to Yongci never to fight again. From that moment on, their paths would never cross again. Years later, we see that Zhou Xi has become an excellent swimmer and now has a girlfriend. One day, he unexpectedly runs into Yongci, who is now a model. They talk about what has transpired in their lives, and she mentions needing someone to take her to a filming location. Zhou Xi offers to drive her, and while watching her during the shoot, he realizes she seemed happier when she was studying design. He shows her some job listings, prompting Yongci to reconsider whether she should continue her modeling career. On the way to another shoot, Yongci receives news that the project has been cancelled. To lift her spirits, Zhou Xi takes her to the seaside, giving her a chance to vent about her problems. Everything was going well until Zhou Xi tried to kiss her, but she wasn't ready for a new relationship yet. The day of Zhou Xi's important swimming competition finally arrived. However, a severe storm caused concern because Yongci had mentioned she would be late, stuck in the heavy rain. Zhou Xi couldn't hide his worry, and in the middle of the competition, he left to find her. When they met, he confessed that something had always kept them apart, but he no longer wanted that to happen. He then asked Yongci to be his girlfriend, promising never to break her heart. In that very moment, a heavy sign was about to fall on her, but Zhou Xi stepped in to shield her. Fortunately, he was unharmed, and Yongci kissed him, accepting his proposal. Over time, they moved in together. Yongci secured a job at a design company, while Zhou Xi worked as a swimming coach while completing his rehabilitation. One night, she surprised him with matching rings, symbolizing their commitment until they would eventually marry. It seemed like they were destined for happiness, but problems began to arise when he received news that he could no longer continue his career as an athlete. This left him deeply depressed, and life with Yongci was no longer as joyful as it once had been. She tried to cheer him up by buying a shirt featuring one of her designs, inspired by him, and mentioned that she had received an offer to study in Milan for 2 years. Zhou Xi told her she should go, but it was clear he wasn't happy about it. While she was chasing her dreams, he remained stuck in a simple job. Even so, she still wanted to marry him. However, he responded by saying it was amusing since he didn't even have the money to give her a proper wedding. Suddenly, Yongci's father passed away, and at the funeral, Zhou Xi confided in his best friend that perhaps things would have been different for him if he had never met Yongci, as he might have been able to continue his athletic career. Yongci overheard this and told him that he had promised not to break her heart, but now he had. After much thought, Yongci took off her ring and ended things with Zhou Xi. He apologized for what he had said, but it was already too late. She left, leaving behind a letter in which she expressed how guilty she felt for ruining his dreams, saying that if anyone should regret anything, it should be her. She regretted leaving school and not realizing how kind he was during their university days. However, one thing she would never regret was being by his side. Zhou Xi's life was never the same. He got into fights and felt a deep pain knowing he had lost the love of his life. A year later, Zhou Xi earned his master's degree in swimming education, leading his students to win several competitions. One day, he received an invitation to Yongci's wedding, but he had no plans to attend. Instead, he chose to go fishing with his friends in the open sea, until he found a note from Yongci inside the ring box, expressing how much she still loved him. With his friend's encouragement, he decided to attend the wedding. When he arrived, the guys helped Zhou Xi find a moment to speak with Yongci. He was struck by how beautiful she looked and admitted that he had been foolish to worry so much about the future while wasting the present. He confessed that meeting her was the best thing that had ever happened to him. Zhou Xi had once been a boy who got into fights, but the moment he met her, he found himself capable of things he had never imagined. He said that if he had been more mature, he wouldn't have lost her because she was the one who brought happiness to his youth. He ended by saying goodbye and asked her to please be happy. Zhou Xi watched her walk down the aisle, reminiscing about everything they had gone through together, and left knowing that the love that lasted 15 years had come to an end.